Guess where I'm at? The gray house. It's kind of blue, but I'm sticking with gray because I already made a bunch of videos about the gray house. Bought this house a couple weeks ago. The yard, I don't know if you remember what the yard looked like, but the weeds were at least 8 to 10 feet tall. Well, my friend Juan, the landscaper extraordinaire, came over and cut it all down. It still looks like a mess, don't get me wrong, but at least you can see what's underneath. And what's underneath may surprise you. Before I show you what was left over after the 12-foot high weeds, it's 12 foot now, it was 8, then it was 10, now it's 12. Before the 12-foot weeds were taken down by Juan, the landscaper extraordinaire, in like 3 hours, which probably would have taken me 3 days. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I had someone come over, Jerry Metal Pickup. That's how I have him in my phone. I don't think I ever met the guy before, but for some reason I had him in my phone. I called him up yesterday. I was looking to get rid of a stove. So I called him up and he said, yeah, well, come over, pick up a stove. Well, Jerry and his son, and I forget his son's name. I think he might have told me, but I forget his son's name, came over. His son's 18. They came over, they took the stove. They took all the other metal for me. They took the cast iron tub. They took a generator, this machine that I think dethatches lawns. I don't even know what the hell the machine was, but it was big. It was heavy. They came over and took all the metal out. I'm going to show you what's still left over, and then I'm going to tell you about the lesson learned at the gray house, because that's the title of this video. All right, so we found that ladder underneath. I think this tarp was there. Yep, some propane tanks. Oh, there's a wheelbarrow thing, another ladder which was laying down. I brought these bags from the inside of the house. These planter boxes, I want to make them go, but those 6x6s are so sturdy in the ground, I'm going to probably leave them. Anyway, there's another pile. I don't know what was in this pile, but there's a pile. There's a table. It was underneath the 14-foot weeds, right? All this wood, got some crap over here, right? It gets interesting back here. So we got this pile. I didn't even know this pile was here. I couldn't even see it. He made another planter box over there. Now we've got a drainage system thing going on back here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but that's not part of the video. This pile, it was completely buried, didn't know this was here. Got some cinder blocks back there. Got another little planter box over there. Got some more stuff that was put to the side. This barrel was hidden. Now we got an oil tank over there that's completely empty. I just checked. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing with that oil barrel, the oil tank. Jerry's gonna come back and pick it up. All right, so this is the stuff that's left over after the 16-foot weeds were taken down. The lesson I learned today at the gray house involves Jerry, the metal guy, and his son coming out. I'm able to learn lessons every day in life, like multiple times during the day, but I never put it on video, or I never really, well, Diane gets it sometimes, but you guys rarely do. I'm gonna tell you about this lesson, but before I do, Jerry picks up all kinds of metal. Like he took the cast iron tub, it had to be 400 pounds. I gave him and his son a hand. Jerry's a big guy and he had like these old sweatpants on and he got a bum knee. So I said, I gotta help these guys. It's 400 or 500 pounds in that cast iron tub. Now he keeps thanking me because of the metal he's able to get out of the yard. And his son is 18. I think I already said that, but I forget his son's name. So Jerry keeps on thanking me for the metal that he's getting out of the house, from the stove to the cast iron to the generator, everything else. And I'm thinking in my head, not only in my head, because I said it to Jerry, you don't have to thank me, you're doing me a favor. Here comes the lesson. I watched Jerry interact with his son, and I don't think if Jerry was watching this video, he would take offense to what I'm going to say here, but Jerry's a little rough around the edges. He's a metal guy. I'm not going to say a junk guy, but he picks up metal. And what he does is he takes the metal down to wherever they take metal, and he gets money for it. And that's what he does for a living. So, back to the lesson. Jerry's got this 18-year-old kid with him, his kid. And I'm a people watcher. I'm a watcher of life. Like I said, I could get lessons wherever I go in life. And I watch how people interact with one another. Well, Jerry, he talks so nice to his son. Here's this, I'm going to say junk guy, not offensively, but to drive home this point. Jerry, the junk guy that comes out in an old pickup truck to pick up, metal junk to bring down and then make money on it, comes out with his 18-year-old boy. I get a little choked up thinking about it. And then he talks so nice to this kid. Let me give you a hand. Don't do that by yourself. That's heavy. I gotta tell you, it choked me up a little bit. It's not easy impressing me. It's not. I don't impress myself. You can't impress me with money. You can't impress me with power or prestige or your political stance or any of that kind of stuff. But when you treat someone that you love with kindness and love, and kind of choked me up. I learned a lesson from that. Here's Jerry. He's got a bum leg. Did I tell you he's got a big bum leg and he's a bigger guy and his clothes are kind of dirty? I'm not saying anything, Jerry, if you're watching this video about how... Hey, I'm dirty right now. What I'm saying is I respect you and you've impressed me. You're teaching your kid how to make money. You're teaching your kid how to be independent without having to go the typical route of college and stuff like that, because the kid seems smart and he could go that route if he wanted to, but Jerry's teaching him what he knows. And while he's teaching him, he's teaching him about how to be a good human being, how we talk to one another. So I used to have a friend that would call a situation like this a big love fest. I'm having a big love fest with Jerry and his kid. We're all dirty. We're like manly man, and I'm going to be talking about this with Jerry. Hey, the way you treat your kid and you talk to your kid is impressing me, because I don't see that every day, and I got to tell you, I love witnessing it. I once heard this guy talk about different vibrations of love and how much higher the vibration of love is than hate or darkness and stuff like that. And he said, here was the really cool thing about it, is that the people that were involved in the interaction, like if I was doing something kind for you, then my vibration level would go up because of outgoing love. And the recipient of whatever I was doing, I'm using me so I can look good. So the recipient of whatever action I'm performing that's loving and kind, that recipient, their vibration level also goes up, right? Here's the interesting part. The observer that's not even involved with the interaction, they've measured their vibration level and their vibration level goes up. That stuck with me. I heard that like 20 years ago. That witnessing acts of kindness or love, benefits everyone. So anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little lesson that I learned at the Gray House, and tell me what you think.